What's up, Salt Strong Nation? We are back. Joe Simons, like diamonds, got a beautiful view. If you're listening on the podcast, you probably can't see this.
No, it's a beautiful view, though.
But I'm here with my boy Heath, Yak Tribe.
Hey, man.
What's up, brother?
Thanks for having me. I'm great, bro.
Dude, so backstory here. I have seen Yak Tribe all over the place. I've seen your shirts, your hats. I've seen your meetups. And I saw you guys on the news.
Cool.
And all of a sudden, people are tagging me left and right. Like, do you know these guys? Like, yeah, I know them. They're right here in St. Peter. Yeah, I know exactly who they are. And then all of a sudden, I'm going through a little bit of cleanup in my house. Sure. And I realize I have a brand new kayak. Like, used like maybe once or twice.
And a nice
max.
one at that.
It is a very nice one.
Yes.
Vibe. Thank you, Vibe. Great kayak.
Yes.
And I was like, man, what can I do this with? And all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. Heath, his wife Shannon, like, they're doing awesome stuff. They're getting people out in the water. They're introducing people to the sport. I was like, do you guys want it? And you're like, let's do that.
Of course, and I appreciate that, man. Like, your generosity, and people have been so generous to Yak Tribe over the years. We started in 2015, so we're like 5 years into this.
Yep.
And we try and do good. Like, that's our thing. It's like, just do good, move the ball forward, and just get people on the water introduced to fishing and kayaking, either individually or both put together. And so the fact that other people are generous back to us is just such a blessing, you know what I'm saying? And so for it to come full circle like that, I appreciate it. And you guys had my buddy Scott Kennedy on from Gulf Shores, the kayak fishing guide over there. And so I listened to that. That was great. And so I really appreciate you guys for coming all the way out here and doing this.
Absolutely. So go back to kind of day one, Yak Tribe. Like, how was this thing born? Whose idea was it? Where did you guys get the cool name, the logo? And
and so all right, for the first time ever, you guys are going to get the exclusive, okay?
The real story.
The real story, okay? If you can watch my podcast or like look at the stories written, not to say those are lies, but you're going to get like the peeled back.
All right.
Okay.
The onion.
So, yes, my wife is here. She's out here taking care of the kids. They're running around right now. Yeah.
Kiddos having a blast. I love seeing this too.
And so all right, the name really came from my wife. Okay.
She didn't even get to hear it.
No.
She's getting full credit.
The name came from Shannon, all right? And so it was really birthed out of, I was kayak fishing for a little bit already. I kayak fished with my dad growing up. Like, we would go to a bridge just like that.
Yep.
And my dad's Filipino, born and raised, and so I was kind of raised that way as well. But we'd go to a bridge like that and we'd like scrape off the barnacles and like grab those barnacles and catch sheep's head, and like that was dinner, you know? And so my passion for kayak fishing kind of died after I graduated, and I picked it back up.
Okay.
And I heard of this like crazy convention that really I'm not supposed to go to. It's called ICAST. But you know how it works.
They don't want civilians in ICAST.
No. But you know how it works. You work with brands and companies, and you get that badge, and you know what I'm saying. So I found my way in there working for a company, and I was looking around, and I just thought, man, like, this is really cool, but why don't people like talk to each other? You know, everyone's like super like, oh, there's Joe from Salt Strong. Let's just not talk to him because he's probably a jerk, you know, like, but it's not that way in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are good people.
Yeah.
And so I was driving back to our hotel after that ICAST in like 2015, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, babe, there's gotta be, I've always been in branding, web development. I was like, I just want to do something, but I've never been the type of person to like build something if something already exists.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I kind of did a little research. I was like, there's some kayak stuff out there, but there's not like a national kayak fishing community that's sole goal is connecting people and getting them connected who are in their area doing good stuff. And so I was like, I don't know what to call it, but like, she was like, I was like, what about like a Yak Fishing Nation? And she's like, no, how about like Yak Tribe? And I was like, no, that's terrible. And I was like, how about Yak Tribe? That's a great name, right?
You know, I'll take credit for it.
That's me, you know? And so that's how it started, really. And we just started, that night I went home and built this like trash logo. It was terrible.
It's not that one?
It's not, this isn't even our logo. This is just a different seal.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but like I built this terrible logo and people loved it, which was awesome. But you know, when you build something yourself, you're always like critiquing it.
So, and how did you start it with a Facebook page or
we just started
website?
Off with Instagram, you know?
Instagram,
and so we started with Instagram and I just hopped on that hashtag kayak fishing. It was like this small, like nobody was really doing it. And really I just started following a little bit of people here and there.
Yep.
And I would wait for them to follow me back. And as soon as they followed me back, I hit them with the DM.
Oh, so you were just stalking
Yeah, I was
kayakers.
stalking them. I was stalking them. But no, so I hit them with a DM, right? And I wrote every one of them out. And I was like, hey, Jeff, Thanks for following us back. I noticed you're in Texas. Do you know my buddy Jason who lives over in Conroe? He's like, no, but I'm close to Conroe. And then I would do something even more creepy, and I would take Jason and I would take Jeff and I would throw them in a group message on Yak Tribe's DM, and I'd be like, you guys are now going kayak fishing. And they're like, this is so cool.
All through Instagram.
Yeah, just through Instagram.
Wow,
just through Instagram. And I did that like 1,000 times.
Wow.
Just like, and then over the course, it was like, hey, do you know Joe? Well, Joe lives here. Why don't you like, and then I was like, all right, let me organize this. So I built a database.
You were just uniting people, uniting kayakers.
It's like Match.com, but for kayak fishermen. That was like, I was like Cupid, you know, for kayak, like making it happen.
Kayak
you know?
Cupid.
Kayak Cupid.
No,
don't.
Your next startup. I'll come up with a logo.
Yeah, please do. That'd be awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So I know it's not on Instagram anymore. Obviously, you guys have a legit site. I mean, I've been there, and you have chapters, and you have all these people that are all meeting each other.
Yes.
So like, what happened after you creeped out people on Instagram?
Yeah. So my creep to keep ratio was like 10 to 90, right? So like 10% they were creeped out, and they're like, block and report because something abusive is happening here.
Interesting.
And then 90% no. So we're still on Instagram, right? Like that's where a bulk of our engagement happens.
Okay, got it.
And like literally, you know, we have a team that is engaging and making sure that, you know, we keep and uphold that. And a lot of it is me on there engaging, but I also have a little bit of help. But yes, I try not to keep. I think you guys might be similar in the same way. I try not to keep all my eggs in one basket. Yep. So I don't put all my efforts just to Instagram. I want to make sure that those people, say Instagram goes down, they're still tied to Yak Tribe through a different outlet.
Yep.
And so our website and database, our emails and different things like that, I try and put enough love into all of them so that, God forbid, one of them gets lost or goes down, we can still keep them tied. But the website is the bulk of our information, where you can go on there, find people who live in your area, search by state, search by city, search by whatever you want.
Yeah. And, and the beauty about that is, and this is also a tip for anyone trying to start anything that's kind of community focused, we saw the same thing. We were very Facebook reliant. Remember, we had this big 65,000 Facebook group.
Yeah.
But we realized we were missing out on guys like my dad and all his friends who don't like Facebook, you know?
Right.
You're 65, 70, you might not really be on Facebook.
Right.
And so we're like, man, we're missing all these people. And as soon as we started driving everyone to our website, same thing. All of a sudden, like, we saw a massive amount of new members.
That's right. Yeah.
More engagement, which is the key. That's awesome, man. So wait, what's the website real quick?
It's yak-tribe.com.
Tribe, that's right.
Yeah, like just literally in this spot 2 days ago,
Yeah.
I dropped off a rental. I met a guy and I was like, hey, look, man, I live down the street. Like, let's go fishing. He was learning how to catch reds for the first time. He had like a 3-ounce sinker on with, you know,
With the big swivel.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what? This is clear water here. You know, like the water's crystal clear.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
And it's only 3 feet deep.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, man, let's get out sometime. DM me on Instagram. He was like, what? I was like, what? Here's my phone number. Just
text me.
Just call me. You know? So yeah.
So let's kind of fast forward
and
talk about, because I love the whole rental. And in the was it ABC or Fox who did the?
It was ABC, and then we had Tampa Bay Times do a written, and then that's it for now. Yeah,
that was the video is what I kept getting tagged in, and you know their feature was all about you guys, you know, basically sharing your kayaks and sharing your love of fishing, your love of family, and just getting people out in the water and let them experience it. It's like, how did that come about? Where you said, you and your wife Shannon said, all right, we're just gonna essentially donate your kayaks and let people use them. And
yeah, that's exactly it. You know, I want to start off just by saying this, like, if I ever sound like braggadocious, it's not because of me and my family. It's because we have a community behind us who gives us a reason to boast, right?
Yes.
And so, like, when we started off, I know we're fast forwarding, but just 1 second step back.
Yeah.
When we started off, we had such a close community that when there was news, I heard it, you know? And so, like, when we first started off, we had a buddy, and his name was Hunter, and he went off to college, right? And it was his first day going to college. He just graduated high school, and his mom went to work. He said bye to his mom. I'll see you in a few weeks. He went off to college. The first day he got there, he got phone calls. His mom passed. And I heard that, I saw that. And the community was like, what can we do? And I was like, well, we have the platform, right? We're small, but we have it. And so we were able to raise funds for the funeral.
That's awesome.
And that led to one thing. That led to chemo payments for therapy for people, which led to just one thing after the other. Everybody has a need, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you guys want to make a difference.
And we just want to make a difference. That's it. It's more than kayak fishing.
Yeah.
So that is our culture. And so I finally I was able to take like my guilty pleasure of hoarding fishing stuff, right?
Anyone else know that feeling?
Yeah. I told my wife, like, look, like, I know I have a Hobie, I know I have paddle boards, I know I have a new canoe, I know I have these kayaks. I just need like this one more kayak because like I fished this one spot where it'd be perfect for this thing. And so like, you know, and finally I found a way to justify it all and keep our culture of doing good, you know? And so I looked out, I did a scan in the kayak fishing world.
Yeah.
And yes, there are a lot of people that help get people on the water first time. There's great organizations, Heroes on the Water, and different things like that. But again, I wanted to use our platform and say, how do we get people from Pennsylvania who are coming down with their brother-in-law who want to go kayak fishing in St. Pete or any of our chapters really, and make that happen and bring no gear. And so the solution was, let's just start a kayak library. But then from there, it morphed into, well, then if we're going to do that nationally for people to come to Tampa Bay, how come we don't just do that and reach out to our local community?
Yep.
Is there anybody here that has never kayak fished that wants to try? Are there any first responders that want to get out here? Or is there anybody that wants to try? And so it stemmed from that.
So, and when you say library, you meant like check out a book, right?
So
and
So if you look, if you were to come to my house, you would see we got 2 racks here, a rack over here, and I just built that one the other day, and it literally looks like a checkout system. Like, okay, I'll just be taking this kayak and we'll put it here today, and we'll give it to this guy to go out in Port DeSoto, you know, and that's how. So I call it a kayak library.
I love it.
Check it out and you put it back.
And are you guys providing them? You know, obviously straps. You know.
No, man, we provide everything. So like,
you do, rods,
the point
reels,
is like, dude, the point is like, if you want to come kayak fishing, okay, and you have nothing and no money, you're exactly who we're looking for.
Wow.
So, and you've never kayaked, perfect. You are exactly. So we get you. If I have to put it on that truck and bring it myself, we will. But if you have your own truck or your own vehicle, we load up the kayak, we load up the rods and reels, we load up the tackle boxes that are geared towards Tampa Bay, you know.
Man.
We load up and put all the secret baits in there, and we load up the paddles and the nets. If they don't want to use artificial, we give them the cast nets. We give them everything that you could possibly want for kayak fishing. You've got it at your disposal.
That's amazing.
And it's completely free. The only thing we ask though is like, we gave it to you clean, bring it back clean.
Yep.
And if you don't bring it back clean, okay, well then you have to give me $20. So
kind of like a library book.
And then I make these guys clean it, and I'll help out, you know. So that's the fee if you really don't want to do anything, you know. But other than that, it's free, man.
Man, it says a lot about you and your community. And I will tell you this is my first time meeting you personally, but I've seen people at ramps wearing the Yak Tribe stuff, and they're always together, right?
Yeah,
It's almost like they're always probably out there doing the connection stuff. Like maybe you connected them or they just know each other. And every single one of them, Luke said the same thing this morning when I told him I was with you. And he's like, man, every single person I met with Yak Tribe is so nice. Yeah. They were like incredibly nice.
Yeah, there's like that didn't happen by accident though. That happened by design.
Yep.
Like the whole motto is like real people, real stories, real connections, right?
Love it.
And so in the world of pro staff that we live in, and this isn't a dog on that at all,
sure,
you know, but in the world where everybody wants to be something and get something for nothing and all of this kind of stuff that happens in our industry, we just have like a zero tolerance for that, for trash. And so when we were seeing that, it was easy as this, like block. You know, because like we're trying to keep this culture of like what you saw. Yeah. You know, so
I love it. And so where are we now? So we're 5 years in. Like tell me how it all looks now, what the community looks like, and big plans for the future. And
like my biggest plan is, my goal is to be like the I don't know how to explain this, but like the Boy Scouts but for kayak fishing.
Yep.
You know, and so we want to have these chapters, like Tampa Bay is our pilot chapter of the kayak library.
Yep.
We're working on Texas. We're working
Cool.
on Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
And I need these in all of our major
Pennsylvania,
regions.
huh? That's interesting.
Yeah,
so
because
tell me how that happened.
yeah, it's up there. I have a really great friend who I trust a lot.
Yeah.
Up there, who has the facility to be able to do it, and who just has the heart. It's hard finding the right people to have the leadership, the vision, the heart,
and time.
Yeah. To and it for free.
Yeah.
You know, to really, so they have to really be bought in and to what we're doing, and so we can't just have anybody do it, right? It's people that's been with us for 5 years,
Yeah.
and so the goal is to do that and to be that, but at the same time, we want to get involved in as many things that we can do, that we can do it to the fullest capacity we can. So anything we do, we don't like to do it like halfsies, you know, like we want to do it great and awesome. And so, yeah, we do kayaks, we do paddle boards, but soon, eventually, you know, like Bass Pro, right? Bass Pro, you walk into Bass Pro and they sell everything. They don't just sell bass stuff.
Right.
And so in the same idea, we are kayak fishing, but I want to be out here having people, teaching people how to fly fish, how to, getting the right people to teach first aid, getting the right people to teach CPR, getting these people in place that just continue to do good stuff for the community, but not here in Pennsylvania, Texas, Cali, Tennessee, Georgia, everywhere. You know, it's just, I had to prove that the model could work first.
Yep.
And so it's Tampa Bay.
And is it set up as a nonprofit?
No, no, we're not a 501(c) or any of that kind of stuff. 534, whatever it is. We're not that. We're not that.
Yeah.
We are for profit.
Okay.
And so we, which is a fine line we have to dance, because we've tried to be as transparent as we can with our community, you know.
Yep.
And we do the best that we can to do that. And so I guess, let me explain it like this: the Yak Tribe Kayak Library, right?
Yep.
That whole thing, we've had people donate things like paddles. We've had people donate things like fishing poles, cast nets, lures. We've purchased every kayak that we have, for the most part. One was donated from Louisiana, right? And so I just started, right, and this is like news to everybody, but we officially started our real rental business here in St. Pete, Florida. And so like we legitimately rent kayaks, licensed and insured, tax codes and everything. Kayaks. So like, yeah, but I thought that you give them out for free. Yeah, but you rent them. But you give them out for free, but you rent them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we have to constantly be transparent on how we do stuff. So here's the deal, right?
Yep.
The deal is like, yes, we rent kayaks for free. And yes, people have donated some things for that.
Yep.
But also, I'm using the kayak rental business to continue to fuel what we do for Yak Tribe, right? So nobody gets paid to do what we do with Yak Tribe. When we do these cleanups, when we do all the free rentals, nobody gets paid to do that. But when the handles break on the kayak, Heath pays for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And when a paddle gets lost at sea, you know, or the Gulf, Heath pays for that.
Yeah.
That's $90.
Yep.
Right? And so I have to come up with a way to supplement doing what I think is a good thing to do. And yes, it's going to benefit us a little bit, but I see it as a way to fund and push Yak Tribe forward we can be a nationwide.
It's the only
you know?
way it can grow.
Yeah,
and so he's very modest on this, because you kind of mentioned just like, hey, I want to be transparent. So when I first got a hold of you and said I have a kayak I want to give to you, he's like, I can't take it. And I was like, what do you mean you can't take it? You guys are doing this. He's like, now we're like, there's a chance, you know, I might use it in a rental, we make money off. I was like, dude, that's what I want you to do. Because the only way any organization can grow, profit or nonprofit, doesn't really matter, is to have some funds come in. It can't be you guys forever, just out of your own pocket. But I mean, what you're explaining is what they call 100% pass through, meaning, you know, if someone does donate a kayak, $1,000 kayak, or gives $1,000, that's going 100% passing through to the group to grow it, to get more people out. And I love that. Versus like, I'm not going to pick on a certain charity, but some of these monster, you know, nonprofits, it's like a 30% pass through, right? Like 70% is to pay overhead and all the admins and the CEOs, and only 30% is actually reaching the real people in need that want it. So I love that, man.
Yeah, so like this kayak, like you're so generous, you know, I know we haven't really covered like giving the guy, you know, I hope I didn't blow your cover, but
this is about you guys.
Yeah, the thing is that like we're going to use that for the kayak library, you know, but at the same time, I'm probably gonna rent it too,
and I want you to.
Yeah, so that I could feel it. And to be honest with you, when you're trying to build something and, you know, like Salt Strong, and I do a lot of like branding podcasts too, because I want to see more things happen, you know, for the good. But when you do it, you eat it. You eat all the cost and you sacrifice if you really want it to grow. Not just like in numbers, but like a depth. You want it to like deeply grow. And so we've been eating those costs, you know, like when we clear
for 5 years.
When we clean out like a teacher's Amazon wish list, because it's, you know, season for that, and they put it out there and we buy stuff, or we don't just ask people like, hey, can you help buy it? We like, all right, we'll buy, and you buy some too, you know? And so we like eat that cost. And you know how, bro, like it costs money to make this and to make that. And
they're not free?
No, man. And you know the profit margins on them, you know? So I really appreciate everybody who has believed, one, and trusted us to be able to do this type of stuff. And they trust how we handle it. And we couldn't do it without the people and people like you guys.
Yeah, and also too, little backstory, and I did not know this until recently when I was just doing some Goog, because I know you had the podcast and saw the YouTube channel, and you were doing a lot of videos. What is the latest ones? Like, what's Heath doing now, or what?
I just do like this Life of Heath thing. Not that anybody cares.
Yeah,
you know?
but I learned. I got myself watching them, and you were at church, and all of a sudden you're building this
drum cage.
Yeah, the drum cage. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And so you're also very active in church, and you guys.
I carry a lot of hats. Like my family, I just have a lot of interest and a lot of things, but like. Mainly what I do is my family, you know, of course, I love my family, the ministry, but outside of that, I have 2 companies, really. I have Yak Tribe and my web development company. And I've been doing our web development company for 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
And we've been blessed to have worked through Corona right now, because people have been taking COVID-19 as an opportunity to rebuild and revamp their businesses. And so we've been busy doing that, but church, websites, Yak Tribe family. That's like my whole thing, you know?
I love it. You got the whole kit, three and maybe another one?
No, I got another one. Yeah, no, like right now, I got another one on the way. You know, I got 3 boys, another one on the way, and we're with each other all the time. My wife homeschools, and it's great. Man.
And you guys get to do some camping and exploring really the country. And
we lived in our RV for 3 years.
Yeah, I remember watching the videos.
Yeah, that's really how we really grew Yak Tribe, was just get out there and like shake
on the
hands.
road. Yeah, so cool, man.
Yeah.
So any future trips? I know this whole COVID thing has kind of hurt that a little bit.
You know, to be honest, I just want to get back to like my happy place, and that's Pointe-aux-Chenes, Louisiana. There's a place called Kayak. And it's like a plug right there, but Kayak, man, like I keep my RV there. That's the RV we lived in, but I rent it out and everything like that. But that's my happy place, man, because it's filled with redfish. I go out there half the time, man. I don't even bring my cameras on the kayak. I just get out there and just bring one little jig and just sight fish redfish for 8 hours, man.
I love it.
And so as soon as I can, that's
like the next, like a happy place.
That's the next place I'm going. I'm in the marsh 6 miles away from anybody. You know, it's like I'm telling you, like 6 miles to get there.
Yes.
And then start fishing.
Yes.
In a kayak. So we gotta get you out there, bro. You would have the craziest footage ever.
Oh, we would love that.
Dude, that'd be insane. You guys can stay in the RV. We could just have like a whole thing. It'd be so dope.
As long as you don't mind if I use a paddleboard instead.
You can do that. That's fine. No, but here's the thing. We can do a mothership, right?
Yeah.
So like we'll get you guys out, and since it's on video, like it's already locked in.
Yeah,
right?
we have to do this.
Yeah, we have to do it
right,
now.
Cody? Cody's like, oh, you need a camera guy, right?
We go to Louisiana, right? My RV's there. It can sleep. You guys can have the whole back room. I get the master bedroom, of course, but the bunks back there, plenty of space.
Dude, I grew up in a bunk.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay, good.
We were bunk
so
buddies.
It's gonna be dope, and then we'll get a mothership.
Yeah.
And the boat will put my kayak, your paddleboard, or whoever else you want to bring.
Yeah.
We'll go like 6-7 miles into the middle of nowhere, like pristine marsh.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring one pole. You bring one pole. I'm gonna tie on one bait. It's called a Bug's Jig.
Okay.
Awesome. You ever heard of them?
No.
Awesome. The best sight fishing. Oh man. We're gonna bring one pole, one bait, kayak, paddleboard, and all day we're just gonna do this. There's a That's it. All day. We gotta do it.
Oh, that would be a blast.
Yes.
Love it.
So you're invited. It's your.
Yeah, well, it's documented now.
It's documented.
All right. So I always promise on every podcast that there's some fishing tip. So let's go super kind of basic, simple.
Okay.
And use St. Pete, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of listeners, you know, that their number one goal is not to catch an inshore slam. It's just to get tight lines.
Yeah.
You know, to catch one redfish, one trout.
Sure.
I see it so many, and you probably see it too, especially for beginners.
Yeah.
This looks a whole lot different than it does on a Google map, right? Oh, it looks so simple on a satellite map,
Sure.
and you get out here like,
It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know there was 300 feet between.
Yeah, and I
these
didn't
two.
know the tide was going to be like
Sure.
this. So, if you got a new kayaker,
Yes.
and they just want to get some tight lines,
Yeah.
any advice?
Yes. My advice, no matter where you're at, here's what separates kayakers from like boaters. Y'all have like these fancy motors.
Let's say y'all, okay?
Yeah.
You know. I rolled up here in a kayak.
Okay, that's true,
right?
that's true. But here's the thing, here's what I see, right? The boaters get in, they zoom to their spot that they know.
Yeah.
They're like, ain't no fish here. Zoom!
Move 2 miles down.
Ain't no fish here. Zoom!
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Here's my tip. My tip is get out there, get to a place, and you guys have a lot of resources, right?
Yeah.
Like, get to the spot where you see those ambush points, okay? And rather than being like, ain't no fish here, paddle, paddle, pedal, pedal, paddle, however you get to the next spot.
Yeah.
Comb the area. Like, don't just leave the area when you bounce it off the bottom 4 times in the same spot.
Yeah.
Fan it, stay there. Okay, then slowly move to the other side of the mangroves or wherever you're at. Stay there, and really, that's the benefit of being a kayak, is you can be so creepy and you can just stay there and ambush these fish. My other tip, rather than just leaving and going to the next spot, is if you're on a kayak and you're at the level to where you want to step it up just a little bit,
Yeah.
stand up.
Which is why I like the paddleboard so much.
Have a kayak or a paddle. Stand up. Don't sit in your kayak the whole time.
It's like going from being in a little skiff to having a tower on a baby boat. You see so much
Stand up. Get you some of these.
Yep.
You know, these aren't expensive. You can get them from Walmart. It's like $30 for polarized lens.
Yep.
Maybe move up to glass one day, whatever. But stand up and look, and you're gonna see, and you're gonna say, okay, there's fish here. I just gotta catch them.
Yeah.
You know, stand up, man. That's my big tip for kayak fishermen. Get out of the seat. You know.
So much more to see.
So much more to see.
I'll give one more.
Yeah.
Because I learned this recently because I got out of kayak fishing, did a paddleboard, and yes, we have a boat.
Yep.
So you kind of get a little lazy sometimes. And we did a little meetup with some salt strongers, and this guy Dave came down from Pensacola.
Yeah.
And to your point, he, instead of kind of combing, he goes real slow and is looking, and he's trolling a little paddle tail. It happens to be our little slam shady, but it doesn't really matter. Just trolling a paddle tail. He caught more fish than anybody.
Yeah.
And they weren't big, but he was catching little snook and trout
off the back.
all off the back,
Yeah.
you know, in 3 to 5 feet of water, just trolling
Yes.
why he's going to the next spot.
Actually, that's a great tip.
I was like, man.
That's how I started before I went to like straight artificial.
Yeah.
And not that, you know, whatever, but straight artificial and sight fishing is my thing. Like I usually don't cast until I see something. And so I'm just like standing up. That's what I love, is getting those eats.
Yeah.
But that's a great tip, and that's something I did a lot when I first started out. And I was hands-free pedaling around, you know?
Yep.
I was trolling like 2 baits. and it was crazy because I was trolling like live shrimp tue.
Really?
Yeah,
That
and so like
couldn't
when
have looked natural in the
No,
water.
but like when I stopped for a minute to cast, it was like whoop.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
there's been times where it's been like fish, 2 redfish, and like I got like 2 reds on in the kayak. It's insane, you know.
That's awesome.
So troll, that's a great tip for sure.
And people take it for granted. It doesn't seem as sexy.
No, it doesn't.
But man, it works.
It works, yeah.
It
And
works.
you can get that pic and you can post it on Facebook,
Yeah.
so you're all good.
Because that's the key, right?
Yeah, that's
Is go
key.
out there and catch some fish.
That's right.
Get some tight lines.
That's
so,
right. Yeah, man.
Brother Heath,
I appreciate it, yeah.
Tell all your social media spots where can people go follow you.
Yes.
Instagram. It's
Yeah,
under
so
Yak Tribe.
Instagram is just Yak Tribe, YAKTRIBE.
Yep.
Our website's yak-tribe.com. And then if you are able to spell this out, probably can, but my personal Instagram is Heath Panganiban. Panganiban.
God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah. It's Filipino, you know. It's Panganiban, actually. That's how you say it.
We'll put it in the show notes, the exact spelling. How can they support you? Because a lot of people like me, as soon as I saw that ABC News thing, I was like, I want to support them, which is, you know, one reason we're here.
Right.
How can someone support, donate, buy
sure.
Yak Tribe apparel? What's the
Yeah,
deal?
we definitely have apparel on the site, which is great. Of course, remember, we would love for you guys, you know, for people to wear our gear.
Yep.
Of course, that's a big blessing. But we do have an actual donation spot on the website, it just says like donate to the library.
Yep.
And what that goes to is like, you know, we have kayaks, right? But to make the experience the best it can, we're slowly adding things on. Like we just had somebody donate $100, right?
Yeah.
And they're actually coming, and this is how transparent we are. Like I document everything on a spreadsheet. It's released. Everybody knows what's been donated and everything like that. And then he's coming to my house and he's helping me install these 6 anchor trolleys onto the kayaks.
Too cool.
So it's like a direct donation, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So yeah, on the website you can donate right there at yak-tribe.com, which is awesome. So.
Awesome. And then finally,
Yeah.
I know there's people listening who are kayakers and they want to join the tribe. How do you join? What?
Go to our website. We protect your information on there, and so we go to our website. There's a place there that says become a member.
Yep.
It takes literally 15 seconds to type out. When you hit submit, everything, like your name and Instagram, city and state, gets published to the front end of the website. And then you can go on there and you can see, oh wow, I didn't know Joe lives in, you know, this area. Let me hit him up on Instagram, you know, something like that. So
I'm not in this area, by the way, so don't.
He's not. He's actually in like New Hampshire.
Polk County now, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I had 3 kids and we needed some help, so we were in Tampa, and I was like, I had to have some parental help.
Yeah, I hear that.
My job. And
luckily, our kids' parents, our parents live close.
Yeah.
I hope our kids' parents live close. Yeah.
Cody, scroll there. Look at this. I love this.
This is the life, man. This is
an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Here in September, while some areas are starting to get cold.
Yeah.
We're sweating over here. Beautiful day.
But I'm gonna throw this out there, right? What are we in? What are we in? September right now?
Yep.
Okay. October. There's a reason why they call October in Louisiana Red October.
Yeah, the hunt for reds in October, right?
All I'm saying is if you have the time, hit me up. Free RV stay. There's no reason.
Is that when you're going to go, October?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
RV, mothership. Bro, bring this guy and bring a drone. Like, it's going to be awesome.
Cody?
Do you have a drone? Cameraman?
Oh, yeah, we got a drone.
Okay, good.
The drone would be sick as long as we get up.
Eats. Oh, I have so many eats. It's hard, too. I'm like on my kayak fishing, and I like launch my drone. Like a one-man show over here, like GoPros. It's insane, but it's gonna be dope.
That was awesome. Brother, that was awesome.
I appreciate you, bro.
Love what you guys are doing.
Thank you,
love
guys.
what you guys represent.
Yeah.
I love how you're uniting people, and you've created a community of just really amazing people, which is not easy to do these days. I know from experience with the Salt Strong stuff, it's tough, and you guys have done it. Every time I see your logo and your brand being represented, it's at the highest level.
I appreciate it.
Really,
For
really
your
good people.
platform's huge, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to shed some light on us, and I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, guys, make sure to go follow Heath, the Yak Tribe. Join the tribe. Support them any way you can. They're doing some really good stuff, and they're introducing new people to the sport to just get them out in the water. Even if they're not great fishermen, we all started that way. We all started being newbies. Don't ever forget that. We appreciate you. Make sure to go like and subscribe to the podcast. And if you're listening in the car or working out, like I know a lot of you do, we'll have all the show notes, including his long Filipino name, there at saltstrong.com/podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. We out. Peace.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live Salt Strong and wear the line today.